right, the hour being after 7 o'clock, I'd like to call the September 21st School Building Committee meeting to order. And if I could please read Governor Baker's order. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, the state of emergency on March 12th, 2020, Governor Baker issued an executive order temporarily suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. Pursuant to the order, public bodies are temporarily relieved from open meeting law's requirements that meetings be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to assure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate alternative means. On June 16th, Governor Baker signed into law an act extending these provisions through April 1st of 2022. Anybody with any questions, please contact M. Mortali at walpole.k12.ma.us or middleschoolproject@walpole.k12.ma.us. Thank you. Brian, over to you, I guess.
Sure. Quick agenda tonight. This is the most administrative meeting. Any public participation? I don't think we have any tonight. Doesn't look like it. We have the prior meeting minutes from the August 10th meeting, and then review vendor invoice package for the month ending August, and then just a quick update on project, where the project is and the outreach efforts that are going on and the upcoming meetings associated with that. So first item I have is the minutes from August 10th. This was one out in your packet over the weekend. I don't know if you had any questions or comments.
Do we have a motion to approve the August 10th minutes?
So moved.
I have a motion from Ms. Gallivan. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second from Mr. Fisher. Let me poll the committee. Mr. Fisher,
Yes.
Ms. Lawson,
yes,
Ms. Gallivan,
Yes.
Ms. Gaositz,
yes,
Dr. Goff,
Yes.
Mr. Conroy,
Yes.
very good. Mr. Jeff Fisher,
Yes.
Mr. Jack Fisher,
Yes.
Mr. Connor.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Hahn,
Yes.
Mr. Senek,
Yes.
Ms. Santiago Taylor,
yes,
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Back to you, Brian.
Next item up, you had the vendor invoice package for month ending August. That came out on Friday as well. 2 invoices this month. Compasses invoice number 8219 for $1257,825, and then TAP A's invoice 210807 for $55,000 for a total for the month of August of $67,578.25. That represents Compass's services through the month of August, and that represents TAP A's billing through, just something to note there, through 62% of schematic design. So September should probably close out schematic design with TAP A. So they're somewhat underbilled, in my opinion. And that's all we had for invoices for August.
Very good. Do we have a motion to approve the invoices as listed in your packet?
so moved,
I have a
Second.
motion from Ms. Lawson, a second from Ms. Gaositz, I believe. When we poll the committee, Mr. Fisher,
Yes.
Ms. Lawson,
yes,
Ms. Gallivan,
Yes. Yes.
Ms. Gaositz,
yes,
Ms. Gaositz.
yes.
All right, we'll get back to you. Dr. Goff.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you. Dr. Goff.
Yes.
Dr. Goff. All right. Mr.
Yes.
Conroy,
Yes.
Mr. Jeff Fisher,
Yes.
Mr. Jack Fisher,
Yes.
Mr. Connor,
Yes.
Mr. Hahn,
Yes.
Mr. Senek,
Yes.
Ms. Santiago Taylor,
Yes,
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
All right,
Brian,
so
back to you.
budget is in good shape so far. So this is feasibility schematic budget, the 1.5 million. So again, no new commitments against that. Everything's tracking on budget, and we will be under that budget at the end of this phase. No new commitments to show, and reimbursements from the MSBA are tracking in line. We did submit one at the end of August, request number 10 for all invoices through July. So that reimbursement is pending. That might have come in yet. We just didn't, obviously at the end of the month, we didn't have that update. That'll be reflected in September. And then reimbursements to date, sticking at that 48.68%, received just over 52% back on what we submitted so far. So we're in good shape there. Any other questions on the budget? Pretty straightforward with this phase. One thing, if you we can talk about, we do have a community forum. So a couple of things. For any other questions on the budget, the project is moving forward with the community outreach efforts. So we did go to FinCom last week. We did give a presentation, Dr. Goff and myself, for FinCom. They did vote 13-1 in favor of moving the motion forward. So that was a success. A lot of good questions there. We will be updating the frequently asked questions to get that onto the website now that folks are starting to pay attention coming up to town meeting. We did do a lot of work in updating the website, cleaned it up a little bit, got some new information out there, some summary information, so folks don't necessarily have to sit and go through every presentation or building committee meeting. So that's new. We did get the floor plans and kind of a whole little design package out there. So again, folks don't have to look at multiple meetings to get to what the plans look like, what the floor plans look like, or what the budget and reimbursement and MSBA scope and budget agreement details look like. So that's all up on the website. That's updated. We are going to the Senior Center Council on Aging tomorrow to give a similar presentation to what was at FinCom. Really focused on getting as many seniors there, but it's open to everyone. So we'll be presenting that tomorrow night at 6. Be about 4 or 5 people on the panel there to answer any of their questions. Should be about 2 hours. That's going to be recorded and broadcast as well on Walpole Media. And then next Tuesday, the 28th, we have the next community forum at Johnson Middle School. So very similar to the FinCom presentation. Hoping to see a pretty good turnout there. We have sent out the postcards to all residents like we did with previous community forums, alerting them to the date, inviting them to that as well. There will be an ad in the Hometown Weekly tomorrow with the date for both next Tuesday as well as the meeting on October 19th, which would be a community forum at Byrd. We'll do the same process and allow people to attend and ask questions. And we do plan to send out another postcard in the beginning of October to get people's attention and get them invited to Byrd as well to attend that. Any questions on any of those outreach efforts or presentations or any questions that came up? But I think overall that communication has been going well.
Will the public forum in Johnson and Byrd be recorded as well, or is it just the one at the Council on Aging?
I think the plans are all going to be recorded to get that presentation and to get those questions so folks can view those. We'll load all those to the website as well. One thing I wanted to bring up is, given that the October community forum is the 19th, which is the 3rd Tuesday, we will have a similar kind of admin piece to do with the meeting minutes and the invoices for month ending September. Most likely we'll complete TAP A's schematic design. We can either do another admin meeting like this for 15-20 minutes, or in the past, in other projects, if the committee feels comfortable, they can authorize the chairman to approve the package. We'll send it out in a packet like we did Friday, and the chairman can just authorize it to approve it. It's going to be basically the same thing, if not the same amount, probably a little bit less on our side as far as the invoice goes. So it's up to the committee's discretion. Any thoughts on that? Save yourself a meeting.
Ms. Larson?
So I believe that's the night of the public hearing that FinCon is holding. Jim, did we talk about this?
19th.
Yeah. We did. We actually, so the FinCom set to hold the public hearing on the 6 p.m. on the 19th, and then we were supposed to have a prep session for town meeting members at 7 PM that night. That was in my calendar. Yeah,
So I'd like to do whatever we can so that I can be at the public hearing for the finance committee. But obviously we need to, get our work done too. What's the
so
best-
Susan, we're holding it both in the same building. So we're gonna have the public hearing. I think Bridget might have booked the library and media center for us. And then the FinCom can go down to the room further down the hall.
Okay,
So any thoughts on not having another admin meeting of this committee in October, or we can just schedule like we did tonight and do a quick 20-minute, 30-minute meeting? If that, we will have feedback from, if we do it in early October, we will have obviously have had feedback from both the presentation, the Council on Aging, any other events that are out there, and the public forum on the 28th. So if we get together the second week in October, by the time we pull everything together, we could probably meet like the 12th. I'm not sure what other town meetings what other meetings are in town that night. Any thoughts or suggestions?
Brian, I think it would be
Selectmen are
good to
set
have,
to meet that night. I know that, the 12th.
Selectmen, select board?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jack, you had a comment?
I think it would be good to meet just quickly and get any feedback that we have from the first two public sessions. But if it's going to be a scheduling problem with getting Ben here, et cetera, then maybe not.
We could send out a poll for a couple dates. I don't know what else is good for people that week, but we could send out a poll for if it's going to be a half an hour, I don't know if the 13th or the 14th works for people. Or later the week before, like the Wednesday.
Susan, you had a comment?
yeah, I agree with Jack. I'd be very interested in the feedback. So maybe if you do a poll to see what night works for everybody, it would be a brief meeting, but I think it would be good to hear some of that feedback.
What if I did a poll for the Wednesday, the 6th, Thursday, the 7th? Monday, the 11th is the holiday. 12th is select board, and I could do the 13th and the 14th. So 6, 7, 13, 14, see if we get a quorum one of those nights.
Sure.
Ryan, are you proposing it's gonna be one of these types of meeting or in person?
For admin, we could just do this type of meeting. I thought it might be easier. We're gonna
Okay,
be in person.
perfect.
Forums.
Okay.
And if it's going to be short, Brian, you could even do Tuesday, October 12th, before the select board meet.
Yeah, it's my anticipation is gonna be this short. We're going on 15, 20 minutes. I don't
Yeah.
know, you
You
Tell
want
me.
to plan on 6:30 then, Brian? If
can do
it's-
that. I can make that work.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
All right, so 6:30 on the 12th?
Yep.
That work for everyone?
Good for me. Yep.
All right, we'll do this. We'll do an online meeting 6:30 on the 12th and get through this and give you updates on where we're at. Any other questions? Related
Brian,
to-
I have a comment.
Yeah.
Brian, you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, no, the presentation, the FinCom that Susan and I sat through, it was excellent. Really well received. Some conversations I just had with people after, somebody asked me the question. There was great comparison as to other communities and, their tax impact on, other school municipal projects. One of the questions that was asked to me is, were the borrowing terms the same? So I know we're looking at a 400 and something based on a 30-year borrowing, where other towns with, the $800, $900 a year tax impact with those similar borrowing terms, were there more expensive projects? Is it apples to apples we're comparing or not? And do we have any material that we could put forward in that presentation that kind of?
Yeah, so Jeff, we do have that. I have the terms, and when I remember, the terms were actually very similar. Then they both were assuming a conservative rate like we are, like in 3.5% range.
Yep.
Terms, I believe, were the same. I believe both of them were 30, to be honest with you. I'll go back. I do have that information. We can add that to the slide. But they were a lot less. They're both, Westwood was an elementary school. Their construction cost is in the 50 range.
Yep.
And I think the Medfield is similar to that. It's in a $50-60 million range. It's a smaller cost. Total project cost is smaller, both of those projects, but I can get those overall numbers.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Any other questions?
I have one, Mark.
Yep,
Just-
go right ahead, Nancy.
Thinking about tomorrow night at the Council on Aging, can we have the information that for senior citizens who qualify for abatements in case the question comes up about, I like the project, but I can't afford it?
Yeah, Nancy, so we actually talked about that today, and Patrick sent me there is a Word document that I think is on the town website in the assessor's office.
We'll
Okay,
make copies available to put in the back of the room if you'd like. Nancy.
Yep.
yeah, that would be, just to have it there would be good. Thank you.
Are you looking
Yeah.
for the application for a senior abatement, or you're looking for statistics on what's on abatement, senior abatements that have been given in the past?
I think the concern is that, folks think that they don't have any options. And there are some options out there for folks that might be able to qualify to say, hey, I'm on a fixed income, I got to stick at a certain number. So, with the presentation, we do have that information. I don't want to get into the details kind of on behalf of the project, other than just sending people to the assessor's website. And if we have the handout in the back from the town, that'd be great, because I think that's one of the big concerns with the senior demographic.
Yeah, because we have a one page that has all of the abatements that are reasonable.
Yeah, I think that might have been what Patrick sent to me today.
I'm
'cause
pretty
I
sure
saw-
Dennis gave that to Pat, Jack, so
Yep.
well, that's the one we'll have for handouts.
Okay,
Anything else? Any other general questions?
Yeah, just from this committee, who's planning on attending tomorrow?
Hey,
Eh,
I think we did post it as a meeting, just as an informational meeting.
Okay, yep.
Pretty sure we did that. And then I think up front was going to be Dr. Goff, myself, Mike, and Bill. So 4 of us.
Yes, and Mark, are you going to be there?
I'll be there. Yep. Yep.
Okay. You can like
I'll-
kick
I'll
it
do
off
my-
like last time.
I'll do my big introduction and hand
Great.
off to the experts.
We
Does
also
anybody else
planning-
have any
Go ahead.
final comments? Sorry, Brian, what were you saying?
I was just gonna say, as a handout tomorrow, we also have it's a single piece of paper, double-sided. We had done it a couple times before, sent it out earlier in the project, and then back in April was kind of that one-page summary of everything, and now we have the updated information. We're gonna hand that out as well. It has the project website on it, the email address, something they can look at, have one page. It kind of explains the whole thing. So we'll have copies of that. And then that also, I think we're gonna get that out through the schools distribution channels attached to the Friday, whatever they do with the principals' newsletters, just to get folks' attention. That's all I
Susan?
have.
Susan?
I just want to echo what Jeff said, that I thought the presentation at Finance Committee was excellent. And I was very impressed at your ability to respond to the multitude of questions. I thought it went very well. So I'm hoping for the same kind of presentation tomorrow night.
Good. Hope so too.
Awesome.
Okay.
Anybody else? We have a motion to adjourn. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second,
We have a motion for Mr. Fisher, a second for Ms. Galvin. We poll the committee. Ms. Lawson,
Yes.
Dr. Goff,
Yes.
Mr. Fisher,
Yes.
Ms. Gallivan,
yes.
Mr. Fisher, Mr. Jeffrey Fisher, pardon me,
Yes.
Mr. Hahn,
Yes.
Mr. Jack Fisher,
yes.
Ms. Santiago Taylor.
Yes.
Very good. Mr. Conroy,
Yeah.
Mr.
Yes.
Senek,
Yes.
Mr. Senek, Mr. Senek.
Yes.
Very good. Mr. Anderson.
Yeah.
Mr. Connor,
Yes.
Ms. Gaositz,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Very good, everybody. Thank you. See
Yeah,
some of you
very-
tomorrow.
Goodbye.